Sometimes I run into old blog posts that I wrote many years ago or old newsletters that I've sent out. They show up for different reasons. And today I saw one from 2018, and the title is, Do You Feel Guilty When You Put Yourself First? And I wrote that connecting to an online program I was going to teach for the first time, and I will be offering that again soon, but I want to get a little movement going first. And so it all comes back to being able to say yes to yourself, yes to you. And based on that article and that online program that I taught, I also wrote a little downloadable ebook called 5 Mistakes Women Make that stops them from getting their needs met. So let's look at that a little bit today. How many of us put ourselves first? We have certainly learned when we grew up, whether it's just in our home, household, or whether it was in church or any other situation, we were taught to always put ourselves last, or most certainly not first. We always make sure everybody else is taken care of first. I think that is a natural way of being, and it's very beautiful. It certainly shows up naturally in me. But there is a difference when we exclude ourselves from the whole equation. If we always ignore our own needs and our own, a little visitor here, when we always ignore our own needs and always put other people first, that means that we are not in touch with our own unfolding, our own divine expression. Because when we just have a blank, truncating our own expression, there is no way that the natural flow, the natural fulfillment of who we are will come through. We do need to put ourselves first. Actually, we always need to put ourselves first. And I mean self with a capital S, but I also mean it with a smaller s when it's understood correctly. Denying ourselves is really denying God. It's denying our true divine expression, our soul. And as long as we do that, we cut off the portal, we shut down the portal where life, fulfillment, love, everything good, peace comes from. That is the core of who we are. And it's not a good idea to cut that off, to shut the door. I know we have all learned it, and it has not served us well. It may serve us well in a way as, look how unselfish I am. I always make sure others are taken care of first. But there is most likely an element of, I don't know, maybe resentment or hoping that somebody will notice, right? There's something underneath that is not coming from the purity of our heart and our expression. And rightly so, because we are literally shutting off the valve of our fulfillment, which naturally flows. So when we're not shutting it down, when we say yes to who we are, to our needs, our longings, our wants. Yeah, I know it can sound very unspiritual if you think like that. So pardon me, but I'm including everything. Nothing can be left out in the oneness of the divine. So when we start allowing ourselves to be part of taking care of others first, we also take care of ourselves first by listening to our needs. So, for instance, you are called to help a friend, because this friend is in need and really needs your help. So, of course, you're going to say yes, right? Unless you are in some kind of situation where it's absolutely impossible. You may be out of the country, you may have a sick child at home, and can be many things, or you're sick yourself. So let's also be practical about it. But otherwise, they will be like, yeah, I'll come and help you. But you cannot exclude yourself from that. If you have been working 10-hour day and you are exhausted, you might say, I have about 1 hour left that I can support you, but then I really need to get my sleep because I have another full day tomorrow, and if I don't do that, my day is going to be a mess. So you include yourself in that, and you express it in a way from your own experience, from your own truth, your own needs. And then they can receive that. They can receive your love and your help, but not your resentment, because you are true to yourself. And then there's no reason to be resentful about because you're doing something you don't really want to do. I think this is a very common situation that we all have found ourselves in. And when we are feeling resentful, when we are, because we feel we should help people, we should do something for others, it's not coming from your truth. It's coming from your mind trying to be loving or look spiritual or have people see you as caring and loving. It can come from many, many layers. Not always, absolutely, absolutely, but many times. Let's be honest with ourselves. So I want to just make it a little short video today because I ran into that blog post, and just ask yourself, do you feel guilty when you put yourself first, when you get first in line? And you can just use that as a little example or a little experiment with yourself to just think, gosh, if I go and say, I want to be first, just notice what happens inside of you. Is it scary? You're afraid what people are going to think about you. You feel guilty. If it's these kind of emotions, fear, shame, whatever, then you can be sure that you're closing off the portal of the flow of fulfillment. But if you're saying it's like, I really want to be first today, and then and just really enjoy that because it's true, you feel open, it's coming from your inside as a joyful longing or wanting or something. That's great. That's great. You stay open. You stay open to the flow. And that reminds me actually of a teacher that I listened to many, many years ago. She was, before she had her big opening, I think she was at a retreat and she was helping and, organizing things or whatever it was, maybe volunteering. And all these people who were in the retreat, they were having these beautiful experiences. And then something clicked in her and she was like, I want that. Me too. Me too. And when she did that and actually followed that deep longing, she had quite an amazing opening, spiritual opening, as far as I remember. So it's really about finding the balance and giving yourself permission to follow your truth, to say yes to what you need, what you want, what matters to you, because that matters just as much as it does to all the other people that you want to give to first. So by you including yourself, you are open to receiving, and whatever you receive of love or joy, of energy or time, you receive it as much as the other ones do. And when you close it off because you do it out of guilt, you don't have much to give. It seems to be how it works. I will put the link in the description for the little book that I wrote. And I think you might enjoy that if you are feeling guilty of putting yourself first or including yourself. And it's really not, it doesn't really serve anyone except maybe an ego mind who wants to be seen as loving or spiritual. So please find where you find yourself in this little flow, this little example that I'm giving. Are you feeling resentful, guilty, shut down, hoping that somebody will also give to you? You can be sure that you closed off the hose and not much is flowing through. But if you do it from a place of yes to yourself, you'll have an abundantly more energy and abundance to give. There's more energy, more love, more time, more joy that you can give because you are not closing yourself to receiving where all the fulfillment comes from anyway. So give it a little try and see if you want to be first in line and just feel what it's like and see what happens. Thank you so much.